Well, here we go. The Democrat Party is in open civil war. Half the party is lining up over here against Biden, and half the party over here is lining up for Biden. And it is going nuclear today. You better believe it, because Congress has just re-arrived in Washington, D.C. We got Senator Mark Warner out there trying to gather senators to openly call for President Biden to step down. And this is really big. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what the Senate is like, but the Senate, they don't talk bad about each other. They're always they call themselves an exclusive club, and they don't talk bad about each other. And even people who have left the Senate, including, guess who? Previously Senator Biden. And so the fact that senators would actually call him out and ask him to step down and resign is a big deal. It's a major slap in the face. We got House representatives lining up one after the next to step up to Caesar and to restore democracy. Let's just say it that way. Anyway, so we got a lot to talk about. A lot is happening in Washington, D.C., and fireworks today. That's what we're looking at, and this whole week is just going to ramp up. Once we get a list of Democratic senators who are asking President Biden to step down, that's going to be just, wow. Things are moving and shaking. We are definitely looking at seeing President Biden stepping down, or a major civil war to take place within. There's going to have to be a purge one way or another. This hasn't been this bad since President Biden, former Senator Biden, Vice President Biden, was going up against Hillary. Remember that whole fireworks show and Bernie Sanders? Oh man, this is a big deal. We're going to talk about what's going on. We're going to talk about the polls out there of who could actually go up against Donald Trump and actually win. There's only one Democrat that actually is polling good enough to actually go up against Donald Trump. We'll talk about that. We got a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. And we're covering what mainstream media doesn't want to talk about, which is this is absolutely devastating for the Democrats. What has been happening before with everybody noticing what's going on with the president, and nobody wanting to talk about it, or people covering it up constantly. That looked bad. Now, the cover-up is blown open. People see exactly what's going on, and we see mainstream media outlets are lining up to go up against him. 7 major networks, news networks, that have previously covered for President Biden are now calling for his removal, or for his resignation. And just give you an idea what the Democratic National Convention, its rules are: after the primary, with the votes cast, they cannot stop him from becoming the Democratic nominee unless he resigns or he dies. If he's not willing, then either Hillary's going to have to go do a Clinton on him, right? Add him to the Clinton body count. But if that doesn't happen, then the only option up till the convention, they can't remove him because he's lost his mind. That's not in the rules. They might change that going forward, but they can't remove him. There's no way. He can either resign or he has to die up till the convention. Now, after the convention, if they use up their convention with President Biden, then that's not good. They lose a lot of PR that way. After the convention, they can replace him for inability to basically run for president, incapacity. So they do have that in there, but up until the convention, they can't do that. And we already have some interesting problems for the Democrats because the Democratic convention, is too late for the state of Ohio. So if they want to get on the ballot in Ohio, they actually have to nominate President Biden as their Democratic nominee before the convention. So we're running up into this thing. Now, it's interesting out there that we see Donald Trump was already talking about sharing his vice president, but that hasn't happened. I was kind of a little curious about that. Why is Donald Trump not announcing his vice president? And apparently, what's happening in the Trump campaign is that they decided that they just want to watch the fire burn for a while. The mainstream media, all the media outlets are ganging up now on President Biden, or they're defending him. And this civil war, Donald Trump is like, I'm not going to take any of the spotlight off of this. Let's just watch the dumpster fire burn. And that's probably a wise move. So he's actually postponed the announcement of his vice presidency until after this whole thing shakes out, right? And that's a good idea out there to keep the spotlight off of Donald Trump and keep it on President Biden, because it's pretty. I mean, he just the other day he called himself a black woman, which is kind of awkward. I mean, I don't know where that ranks on the crime scale compared to blackface, but it's up there somewhere. Calling yourself a black woman when you're, well, I don't know. Maybe he's deciding to change his pronouns. I don't know. If that happens, I hope that the Democratic Party can respect his wishes, and they should probably start respecting them right now. So no clue on when she's going to step down from being president, resign, but that's what's going on out there. His speeches are getting worse somehow, and it is, as we all say, it is elder abuse, really, what's going on right now. He is clearly unable to function in the office and the role that they have him in, and yet they are just sending him out there. It's cruel. It's cruel. Now, I hope that for the sake of getting the government off our back as much as possible, I hope for the sake of libertarianism and conservatism that Biden not get out. Like, I don't want him to get out, because Donald Trump's going to win, right? Now, I'm not saying that he's the second coming of the Messiah or something like that. He certainly is not. He has his faults. And even in the good side of things, can he turn this boat around? I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical that he can turn the deep state around and get that fixed up. But if anyone can do it, I think he maybe has a shot. So Senator Mark Warner is gathering this group together to ask President Biden to step down. Now, there's only really one Democrat that could possibly stand up to Donald Trump, and I don't believe that's going to really work out for two reasons, actually. But he's going to just go up there and give the slap in the face. It's going to be A2 Brute kind of situation there. We got, on one side, we got Senator Mark Warner and whoever else he can scrounge up in the Senate. They don't want to go public until they actually get enough people. But Nancy Pelosi is in Biden's corner still, which kind of makes sense given her age, the Wicked Witch of the West, as I affectionately call her. The best stock trader of them all, Nancy Pelosi. Gavin Newsom and Governor Gretchen Whitmer, they are still in Biden's corner. But the list of Biden allies grows thin these days. A lot of Democratic representatives in the House are jumping ship one after the next, calling for President Biden to resign. So who is going to take his place? That's the real question, isn't it? Who's going to take his place? And the affirmative action Vice president is chomping at the bit. She got there not because she was qualified to be vice president, but because of her skin color. That's just the truth. Once he painted himself into a corner and said that he was going to nominate a VP that was a black woman. His list of possible VPs got really, really short, and Kamala Harris just basically got in because all the other options were pretty terrible, right? So she's in as vice president. Nobody likes her. Like, there aren't any fans. Her staff can't even stand her. Like, her staff keeps quitting. I don't know if you've seen all those news stories out there, but every time she gets new staff people, it's like not long before they quit as well. They can't keep staff. And I don't think the United States is really ready to vote for her, right? But the party of woke, how can they say no to a black woman whose turn it is? Eek. Yes, that's going to be a conversation out there. And it would be very, very bad looking if they pick a white man to take away the black woman's right. She's vice president. If President Biden steps down, she becomes president, right? If he steps down from the presidency, she becomes president. Now, if he just steps down from being the nominee, but not steps down from president, that's an interesting situation right there. I'm incompetent and unable to carry out next term, but I'm going to continue this term. That would be a whole thing. If they get him to step down, they will probably get him to step down from the presidency as well. And that would mean Kamala Harris stepping into the Oval Office, not to get lectured this time, but rather to sit in the chair. But we all know that President Biden will not step down until his legal and Hunter's legal issues are guaranteed. We know that. I mean, why else has Hunter Biden suddenly appeared at the White House, started attending meetings? Maybe President Biden is going to replace Kamala Harris with Hunter Biden, and then he's going to resign. Maybe that's one way that they can keep the family business out of the limelight and make sure that pardons keep flowing that the Attorney General doesn't examine anything from the Bidens. They are so corrupt and so deep in it that they can't stop. You know, I know a lot of people out there say that they just want to clutch onto the controls of power. Well, if you look at what they've done, what other option do they have? They have to hang on. If they don't hang on, I mean, if Donald Trump comes in, I mean, there's going to be legal actions against them. Clearly. I mean, gone is the whole idea of just, let it just pass and let the country move on. Donald Trump is not going to just move on. And if Democrats get into office, throwing the Bidens under the bus might be a thing. If they go into having financial, economic turmoil, I mean, they can always just throw Biden under the bus. Nobody liked him anyway. That's what they could do. And I think the Bidens are very aware of this. They've seen their party throw everyone under the bus that became inconvenient to them. And as a white man, he's more of a target than most, right? So he can't get out of office without some sort of promise from whoever's going to take his shoes. Now, if you're asking the question, so which is the Democrat that could actually defeat Trump, possibly? At least what the polls say right now. Well, the polls say right now that Michelle Obama could slightly beat out Donald Trump. Now, that's not really fair because she's never run for any public office, right? She's ridden on the coattails of Obama and Barack Hussein Obama. Now, if she runs, she's going to start getting hit hard, right and left, from Donald Trump. And can she survive that and come out looking squeaky clean? I don't know. She's going to have all of the failures of the Barack Obama presidency thrown around her neck, and arguably the victories of their party. I don't know if I agree with any of them, but they're definitely going to make the case, right? Now, that's a big downside, is that Michelle Obama will get saddled with Benghazi, will get saddled with all sorts of other scandals out there. There is a dossier that the Republicans can open up and start bringing things out. She is more squeaky clean than most of the Democrats out there. Also, she doesn't have a voting record out there. So there's that too. And Barack Obama is still fairly popular. I mean, definitely compared to Biden. And she's a black woman. Well, some people dispute that last part there, but that's a whole search you don't want to get onto on the internet. But we have the other problem, which is she said that she definitely won't run. So I don't know. Maybe she will. Maybe Oprah will come out of stage right and run for office. That's probably not a thing, but I think that that's more likely than seeing Gavin Newsom, a white man, come out. It's going to have to be a colored woman. If they want to get Kamala Harris out of the way, it's going to have to be another black woman probably. That's my guess on things. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Who do you think they're going to go with? And do you think they're actually going to pull Biden out of office? And how long will it take for them to get him out of office? That's an interesting thing. I'm sorry, friends, but I am kind of having a good time here today because we get a lot of doom and gloom out there, but watching the implosion of the Democratic Party is, I don't know, kind of satisfying. So the destruction of a political party in political terms instead of the destruction of our country, that's a fairly nice thing to watch. I don't think anyone's crying a river of tears for the Democrat politicians, even if you're a Democrat, right? Nobody likes politicians, period. And so just the fact to see all these things kind of on fire is kind of spectacular and kind of funny to watch. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.